In a gripping tale of twisted morality, we meet Dr. Paul Kersey, a surgeon who faces the paradox of saving lives and taking them. The story unfolds with Paul rushing a wounded officer to the hospital, but tragically, he can't save him. Amid the tension, Paul is called to treat the shooter, igniting conflict.
12:24 a.m.
At home, Paul's family life seems perfect, with his daughter Jordan ecstatic about college acceptance and demonstrating her Krav Maga skills at lunch. The family's joy is shadowed by Paul's brother Frank, who needs money due to past legal troubles. Unbeknownst to them, a valet named Miguel takes note of Paul's apparent wealth and happiness, sneakily capturing Paul's address and setting the stage for turmoil. Remember Miguel's tattoo? It's a crucial detail in this unfolding drama.
Like in the old days, you should have your mom came over.
Thanks, man. Paulie, thank you.
Let's go too. So I'm gonna start going there.
The family plans to celebrate Jordan's birthday, but Paul gets called into work. Lucy and Jordan decide to go shopping instead. At home, they encounter a horrifying situation: 3 masked intruders. Lucy struggles with the safe under duress, and Jordan defends herself with a knife. In the chaos, Lucy throws boiling water at one attacker, but they retaliate violently. At the hospital, Paul discovers Lucy has been fatally wounded, and Jordan is in a coma. Detectives Raines and Jackson begin investigating Lucy's murder. After Lucy's funeral, Paul rides with her father, who suddenly stops to confront poachers. Witnessing her father's aggressive defense, Paul is taken aback by his assertion of taking justice into one's hands.
Poachers, come on! Trapping the fox as he's coming out of the hen house.
Struggling with sleeplessness and grief, Paul seeks therapy for help with his trauma and tips for better sleep. He feels he failed to protect his family, leaving him searching for purpose. Paul visits the police for updates on his case, but Detective Kevin's overwhelming workload and assurance that Paul's case is unique provide little comfort.
So there's nothing that I can do? Is that what you're saying?
You can have faith.
One night, while walking, Paul intervenes to help a woman being harassed, ending up beaten himself. During recovery, he contemplates buying a gun, but reconsiders due to security concerns. At the hospital, he secretly acquires a dropped Glock from a gunshot victim. Paul learns to use it, balancing his daytime role as a life-saving doctor with nighttime preparations for a darker mission. One night, Paul discovers Jordan's condition is deteriorating with seizures, leading him to feel a deep sense of injustice. Driven by this, he ventures out in a hoodie, seeking vigilante justice. He interrupts a carjacking, engaging in a shootout that results in the car crashing and one carjacker being fatally shot by Paul. Unbeknownst to him, the incident is recorded and goes viral.
Oh man, that's just cruel. Full support.
The next day, Paul, now dubbed the Grim Reaper by the media, encounters a young boy at work who was shot by a criminal known as the Ice Cream Man. Determined, Paul tracks down the perpetrator and confronts him, ending the encounter with lethal force. Public opinion is split on Paul's vigilante actions. Detectives Kevin and his partner, noting the left-handedness of the Grim Reaper, start piecing together clues.
What's up, Ray? Mama?
Guys, some people are mad at me. I say the guy's a hero. He stopped the carjacking.
At work, Paul treats Miguel, a gunshot victim, and recognizes his stolen watch. He sneaks Miguel's phone, finding his address and a lead to a pawn shop. Confronting the owner, Ponytail, Paul's questioning turns into a scuffle. The encounter escalates when Fish, an accomplice, arrives and mistakenly shoots Ponytail. A tense shootout ensues, with Paul gaining the upper hand after Fish slips on water. As Fish tries to escape, Paul learns Joe's location, another accomplice, but not before accidentally hitting Fish with a bowling ball. Paul retrieves his stolen hard drives and leaves the chaotic scene.
Joe.
Joe who?
Joe got it. In fact, we see fucking auto body shop.
Where's Joe?
It's in my phone.
Paul learns how to destroy data from an online tutorial, confident in its reliability. Amid a media frenzy, detectives inform him about Fish's demise and the pawn shop discovery. Paul visits Joe's garage, where he coerces Joe into revealing that Knox orchestrated the home invasion. After extracting information, Paul uses a wrench and a clever line to trap Joe under a car. Meanwhile, the detectives suspect Paul's brother Frank as the vigilante, given his left-handedness and past. Paul, maintaining his vigil at Jordan's bedside, receives a threatening text from Knox inviting him to a club. Frank, worried about Paul, enters his house and uncovers evidence in the basement that reveals Paul's secret activities.
Do you mind if we see your hands?
Hey, man.
Paul arrives at the club for a tense meeting in the bathroom where he responds to a phone call with gunfire, only to find the stall empty. Knox then ambushes him from behind, but Paul cleverly disables the lights by shooting an electrical box and escapes amidst the chaos. Later, Knox is hospitalized, and detectives arrive to interrogate him about the shooter. Meanwhile, Paul, injured from the encounter, manages to self-treat his wounds. Detectives visit Paul's office, but find it empty as he is at home, having a heartfelt conversation with his brother Frank in the basement. Frank urges Paul to stop his vigilantism for Jordan's sake. When the police arrive, Frank covers for Paul with a fabricated alibi, forcing the officers to depart without further questioning. In the basement, Paul and Frank's conversation is interrupted by a call informing them that Jordan has woken up. Paul hurries to the hospital, where he sadly informs Jordan about her mother's passing. Physically recovering, Jordan is ready to come home soon. A week later, in an elevator, they encounter Knox, who cryptically addresses Paul by name, revealing he knows their identities. Following this unsettling encounter, Paul visits Bethany to arm himself.
Welcome to Charlie Rogers. How can I help you?
Come to Blowout. That's a club off Ashland. I'll be waiting.
When Knox and his accomplices later invade Paul's home, Jordan hides while Paul confronts them. Displaying formidable defense skills, Paul eliminates Knox's henchmen but initially can't find Knox. A surprise attack leads to a tense struggle, during which Jordan emerges from hiding, distracting Knox. Seizing the opportunity, Paul retrieves a hidden gun from beneath a table and decisively ends the threat posed by Knox. When the detectives arrive at Paul's house, Kevin questions him about the incident and the firearms involved. Despite the doubts raised by Paul's account, Kevin chooses to believe that Knox returned fearing Jordan's potential identification of him. Later, as Paul takes Jordan to college, he spots a man involved in a robbery. With a sense of irony and a hint of his vigilante past, Paul playfully gestures a finger gun at the man, symbolizing his continued vigilance.
Sway in the morning, shave for. Hey!
And that's a wrap on our thrilling journey with Paul. From unexpected twists to heart-stopping action, we've seen it all. As Paul drives away, leaving his vigilante life behind and focusing on a new chapter with Jordan, we're reminded that justice sometimes comes in unexpected ways. Thanks for joining this wild ride. If you love the suspense and action, hit that like button, subscribe for more gripping stories, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until our next adventure, keep an eye out for those finger guns.